The night always seemed to carry their secrets best. The hush of darkness, the lull of the wind, and the distance from curious eyes made their love feel safer, though in truth, it was anything but. She was 21, caught in the delicate balance of youth and self-discovery, while he was nearly twice her age at 42, carrying the weight of a life already lived, mistakes already made, and scars hidden beneath the surface. They had no reason to find each other, no right to fall into the dangerous rhythm that consumed them. Yet destiny, with its cruel but irresistible hand, had tethered them together. They met in the most ordinary way, in a crowded bookstore on a late autumn afternoon. She had been browsing through the poetry section, her fingers tracing spines of books that spoke of love, longing, and desire she only half understood. He was there by chance, drawn by his own love for literature, though he usually avoided public places like this. Their hands reached for the same book, a collection of Rumi's poems, and in that instant, their eyes met. Something sparked between them, something more profound than coincidence. Neither said much that day, only a few polite words, but when she walked away, he found himself wishing he had said more. It wasn't long before fate intervened again. They crossed paths at a small cafe nearby, and this time, conversation flowed like water. She was struck by his intelligence, the depth of his thoughts, the way he carried himself with quiet confidence. He was captivated by her energy, her laughter, her ability to see the world with such brightness. What began as chance encounters turned into planned ones, first over coffee, then dinners, and eventually evenings that stretched long past midnight. The line they both tried to respect blurred slowly, until one night it disappeared altogether. They had been walking near the river, the city lights reflecting off the water, when she paused and looked up at him with wide, searching eyes. "Why do I feel like I've known you forever?" she asked softly, her voice trembling with something she couldn't hide anymore. He should have pulled back, reminded her of the years between them, reminded himself of the consequences. But he didn't. Instead, he reached for her hand, and when she didn't pull away, he leaned closer. The kiss was hesitant at first, trembling with the weight of what it meant, but soon it deepened into something fierce, something undeniable. In that moment, there was no age, no rules, no judgment, only the truth of two souls who had found each other in a world that wanted to keep them apart. Their love grew in the shadows. Days were filled with obligations, with pretending, with playing the roles expected of them. But nights, oh, the nights, were theirs alone. They stole moments under the stars, whispered secrets in each other's arms, touched as though each embrace could erase the world outside. She loved the way he looked at her, as if she was more than just young and beautiful, as if he saw her very soul. He loved the way she breathed life into him, making him feel young again, alive again, like the fire inside him had never dimmed. But passion, when hidden, burns hotter. Their desire grew with every stolen kiss, every lingering touch. They found themselves unable to resist each other, drawn together by a magnetic force that defied reason. He would trace the curve of her back as she shivered under his hands. She would kiss away his doubts, reminding him that love could be eternal, even if it was forbidden. Yet the world pressed in on them. He was conscious of the whispers, of the questions that would arise if anyone discovered the truth. She felt the disapproval in every glance, even though no one knew their secret. They lived in a fragile bubble, one that could burst at any moment. Still, neither could let go. To lose each other would be to lose the very flame that kept them alive. One evening, as they lay entwined in his arms after hours of passion, she whispered, "Do you ever think about the future?" Her voice was quiet, but the question hung heavy in the room. He tightened his hold around her. "Every day," he admitted. "But the future scares me, because I don't know if it has room for us." She lifted her head, her eyes glistening with determination. "Then let's make room for us. I don't care what people think. I don't care about the rules. All I know is that I love you, and I can't imagine a life without you." Her words seared into him like fire, both a comfort and a burden. He wanted to believe her, wanted to believe that love was enough to fight the world. And in her arms, for a while, he did. But life has a way of testing the strongest of flames. Their secret became harder to keep. One careless glance, one too long touch in public, one photograph captured by the wrong person, it was enough to spark rumors. She began to feel the strain of living a double life, torn between the girl everyone expected her to be and the woman she became in his arms. He battled his own guilt, the constant reminder that he was older, that he should have been wiser, that perhaps he was selfish for holding on to her so tightly. Despite the shadows, their love endured. Each challenge only fueled their passion, as though adversity itself became part of their bond. They carved out moments of beauty amid the chaos, dinners by candlelight, long drives with music low and hands clasped tight, endless hours of making love as though the world outside didn't exist. She would trace the lines on his face, whispering, "I love every part of you." He would kiss the curve of her shoulder and reply, "You are the reason I breathe." Still, the question of eternity haunted them. Could a love born in secrecy survive the harsh light of day? Could passion sustain them when the world demanded conformity? One night, under sky painted with stars, they stood by the river where their first kiss had changed everything. She looked up at him, her heart pounding with both fear and hope. "Promise me," she said, her voice trembling. "Promise me that no matter what happens, this, what we have, will never fade." He cupped her face, his thumb brushing her cheek as he looked into her eyes. "I promise," he whispered, his voice breaking with emotion. "This fire we share, it's eternal. No one can take it from us." They kissed then, deeply, fiercely, sealing the vow with their souls. And though the road ahead remained uncertain, though the world around them could never fully understand, they knew that their love was more than a fleeting affair. It was an eternal flame, burning bright against the odds, a forbidden love story that would live on in their hearts forever. Because some loves, no matter how forbidden, are destined to endure. Some flames, once ignited, can never be extinguished. And theirs was one of them, an eternal fire that would burn long after the night had ended, long after the world had turned its back. And so they loved, in defiance of time, in defiance of judgment, in defiance of everything but the truth of their hearts. Their story was not ordinary, nor was it simple. It was dangerous, it was forbidden, but above all else, it was real. And in that reality, they found everything they had ever searched for: desire, passion, and a love that burned beyond forever.